Who is Steve Jobs? And how did he found Apple? Was he really fired from his company? And how did that happen? How did he turn his failure into the greatest success in history? The legendary rise of the founder of Apple. Stay with us and learn about the strangest success stories. In 2007, Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone to the world, changing it forever. So who is Steve Jobs? On February 24, 1955, Stephen Paul Jobs was born in San Francisco. His father was Syrian political science professor Dr. Abdul Fattah al-Jandali. However, he was adopted by Paul and Carla Jobs. He grew up in Mountain View, in the heart of Silicon Valley, where he became well acquainted with the world of electronics. In high school, Steve met his friend Wozniak, who was obsessed with technology and electronics, and formed a duo that would reshape the world. Jobs dropped out of college after one semester due to costs, but he continued to attend calligraphy classes, which later influenced the aesthetics of Apple's device design. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all the latest updates. On April 1st, 1976, Steve Jobs and Wozniak founded Apple in Steve Jobs' garage with an initial budget of just $1,300, which Jobs raised by selling his Volkswagen. Steve Jobs loved electronics, while his friend Steve Wozniak was an engineer working at HP. They were brought together by their shared hobby of designing electronic circuits. Wozniak was a genius and had designed a simple personal computer called the Apple I. Jobs saw the invention as a great opportunity. He convinced Wozniak to turn his device into a product that could be sold on the market. The Apple I was just a circuit board without a screen or keyboard, but it was a bold step at a time when computers were huge and extremely expensive. Jobs managed to sell the Apple I for around $666. The two young geniuses decided to develop the Apple I and add modern touches to it. It became the Apple II with a color screen and an easy interface. It was the first commercially successful personal computer. Within 4 years, Apple became a huge economic entity. By 1980, its value had reached $200 million. Do you know how old Steve Jobs was at the time? Only 25 years old. Just imagine that. A 25-year-old young man owned a company worth $200 million in 1980. It's funny that Steve Jobs, who reshaped the world with his revolutionary products, wasn't a genius at programming or engineering, but he was extremely talented at design and marketing. He had a very keen vision of the future. After the company expanded, Steve Jobs was looking for a professional CEO to manage the company during its rapid growth phase, especially with the launch of the Macintosh. Jobs was looking for a CEO with very specific qualifications. He began searching for candidates outside of Silicon Valley. In the end, he chose John Sculley, the president of PepsiCo, because of his tremendous success in transforming Pepsi into a global brand and his creation of several ingenious marketing campaigns. Steve Jobs went to John Sculley's office and said to him, "Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or do you want to come with me and change the world?" This statement greatly influenced Sculley, who was looking for a bigger challenge than just selling soft drinks. Sculley officially joined Apple in April 1983 as its CEO, and the two geniuses set out to change the world. They launched the Macintosh in 1984 and presented an extremely innovative and distinctive advertisement, known as the 1984 advertisement. However, major disagreements soon arose between Jobs and Sculley over the management of the company. Sculley believed that Steve Jobs was undisciplined in his financial decisions. In 1985, a very big surprise occurred. What happened? In a dramatic turn of events, the power struggle between Steve Jobs and John Sculley turned into a huge battle. John Sculley held a vote among the company's board members to oust Steve Jobs from his company Apple. The result was unanimous, and Steve Jobs was fired. Imagine founding a company, growing it, and then being fired from it. It's very hard on the psyche. After leaving Apple, Jobs founded Next, a company that manufactured advanced computers for education and business. Although it wasn't commercially successful, it created a very powerful operating system. In 1986, Jobs bought an animation division of Lucasfilm and founded Pixar. In 1995, after years of struggle, Pixar released its first fully computer-animated film, Toy Story, which was a huge success. At the time, Apple was suffering from severe financial crisis due to fierce competition between it and Microsoft. In 1997, Apple bought Next, the company founded by Steve Jobs after he was fired from Apple. Next has developed an advanced operating system called Next Step, which was based on Unix technologies and was easy to program and extremely powerful. Next brought with it a programming language called Objective-C, as well as development tools such as Interface Builder. These tools helped Apple developers create powerful and fast applications. Through the purchase of Next, Jobs returned to Apple once again, and he returned to save it from bankruptcy and became its CEO. This led to the revival of the company from its financial and creative crisis at the time. He restructured the company and launched a series of revolutionary products. In 1998, he launched the iMac computer, which saved Apple from bankruptcy. In 2001, he launched the iPod. In 2007, he launched the iPhone, which revolutionized the world of communication. In 2010, he launched the iPad, which revolutionized the world of tablet devices. The company that was on the verge of bankruptcy became the most valuable company in the world. In 2011, Steve Jobs died of pancreatic cancer, but his legacy lives on in every iPhone, iPad, and Mac. In your opinion, was Steve Jobs crazy or a genius? I look forward to your responses in the comments below. Finally, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all the latest updates.